first day.
Yeah, it's always good to be out there the first day. I thought the guys worked hard, ran around good. You know, sometimes it's hard to get the real good work you want without shoulder pads on. But I thought we got some real good work out there.
What's the biggest difference in Jake today versus this time a year ago?
Yeah, well, day one, I think all the guys that we had, it shows up pretty loud and clear. You know, hopefully day 7, we won't be overwhelmed like a lot of times the new guys are. There's just a lot more command. I think with all the guys that were here, not only Jake, but all those freshmen we played, makes it, you know, at least they know the drills. They might not know the plays, but they know the drills.
Particularly for a quarterback, the sense of that growth between the freshman year and the sophomore year. What happens during that span?
Well, like you say, I think you hope it's the command, and it's all these subtle things. You know, how he operates in the pocket and throwing the ball with a little more anticipation. It's all the subtle things that I think are hard to see by just the average person kind of watching ball.
And what did you target with him in this offseason to build up to this day?
Just everything that we're talking about, the command of the system, to know it. I mean, it's one thing to be a chalkboard expert. It's another thing to be a field commander, and that just comes with a lot of reps.
Moving a bunch of guys to tight end, tell us how you see that competition evolving through.
Yeah, I think that's a really important position for this offense. And, you know, it's hard to find that one guy that can do everything, that can run like a receiver, block like a lineman, smart enough to move them around. And so we need a bunch of guys there. And so we're looking at different guys. You know, Will Dissly, you know, he may be one of those guys that's truly a two-way player. That we just don't lock him totally into the tight end. We know he can play defensive end, and you know, he's a real valuable guy that will get some good. You know, we kind of threw him in there at the end, bowl game wise, and he did a nice job. So we'd maybe like to increase his package a little bit, but we'll concentrate him at the tight end position and kind of go from there.
How about Lindquist moving there? What's that say about his commitment to the team?
Yeah, he's like I said from the start, he's just such an awesome person, and I think he wants to contribute any way he can, and that's what we want too. We want to be able to get this good athlete on the field, whether it's special teams, tight end, quarterback, it doesn't matter. We just want to play guys that can help us win.
How does John Ross look to you?
I think he looks good. And John Ross always looks good. You know, have a little luck and keep him healthy, he'll do some good things.
What's his schedule for this spring, Coach?
He's good. He's good to go. And you know, I think anytime a guy has, you know, a significant injury like that, we'll always monitor it. We may pull back, but he didn't miss a rep today, and so we'll just take it day by day. You know, we don't have to win spring ball with him. We got to have him ready to play in September.
You talked about how much he learned sitting out last year. From a receiver perspective, what are you hoping he refines or has refined?
Well, like I said before, John Ross has played very little receiver. I mean, since we've been here, it's really been all defense. And then by the time we got him back, he didn't make it out of spring ball. And so, you know, I think expectations are great, but expectations need to be kept in check. And we all know the explosive player that John is, but it's not fair to him to expect him to be the answer to solve all of our issues. I mean, he's got to develop, and he will, because he's very committed, very focused, hard-working guy. But he's played no offense since we've been here, and we've got to keep that in mind. So he's going to take a while to develop, and one day at a time.
Has he lost any speed at all because of the injury?
Well, I don't think he's so explosive that it's hard to know. If he has, he's still faster than most. But like I said, you know, I think he's still, you know, getting all of his strength back. And as long as he's got it all back by September, we'll feel good about that.
And then starting year 3 for you, is the program on track where you thought they'd be at this point in time?
I think so. I think we're pointed in the right direction, and now we need to go. And you know, it's always that, I don't, you know, you're never there. Doesn't matter how many years you've been somewhere. It's, you know, a lot of times you start from scratch. It's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. We understand that, but we're definitely pointing in the right direction. And I think the kids are hungry. Now it's time to just build on everything we've done the last couple of years.
How much were you able to use that strong finish late last season as a platform or a springboard to the off season and now the spring?
Yeah, I think all the lessons, the good lessons, the bad, the hard lessons, you know, are all
even
equal.
The middle part.
Absolutely, the hardest part of the season. That might be the strongest lesson that we learned. That it takes time. It takes time to build true skill. Everybody's impatient. Starting with the fans, no, let me back up, starting with the coaches, going quickly to the fans, going to our players. They want it right now, but true skill takes time. And so, but it has to be consistent, persistent, day after day. And if we can keep that mindset, we'll go somewhere.
What's your biggest question mark about this team?
I would just say that if we can continue to keep that hunger and that edge, I think we have some talent. But if we truly have that scratch claw underdog mentality, that every day is truly as important as any day we've had, not when we show up to play a game. I think the kids did a great job with that all last year. But have we lost any of that because it's spring ball?
Yeah.
And the game's not for 5 months away or whatever.
What about from a position battle perspective?
Well, I think there's some positions that might have a little bit more depth, which is awesome because you get tremendous competition there. But there's no question for us to do what we need to do. Every group needs to step up. I mean, if the defense thinks that we've arrived because of what we did, that was last year. We lost some pretty good players off of last year's team. And you lose